Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another weekly update. It's the 19th of January. Presumably, we're not even to the middle of winter yet. Yesterday, it was almost 70 degrees. It was very sweaty. Last night, let's talk weather. We have a storm front inbound. The weather report says 50% chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday, 70% chance of rain on Monday, which means, you know what 50% means? It means it either is or it isn't. Usually when they say 50%, it is going to rain all day. Like it'll rain 16 straight hours without stopping. But not the rain to which the rest of the world is accustomed. Like just we will get a quarter of an inch of rain spread over 16 hours. But it's enough to keep you inside, or it won't even be partly cloudy. It'll just be crystal clear all day and not rain. So, why this is brought into my memory, about 10 minutes ago, I was watching a Matt's Off-Road Recovery video where they were pulling a Toyota Tacoma up the side of a very steep mountain in New Mexico. And they did that on New Year's Day, and the video went live on the 19th. So they have about a 3-week lead. So they have roughly 3 weeks of content. And that's not atypical when I watch videos from other creators and they date their videos by making some sort of contemporary reference inside that video. It's not uncommon to be about 3 weeks out. And I used to say to myself, well, you're doing it wrong. I don't think that there is a way to do it wrong. I think that my lead time, which is nothing, this video will be live in like 8 hours, under 8 hours. So that's about what my lead time is. About the farthest out I get is maybe 3 days. If I'm lucky and I manage my time well, I can film Sunday and or Monday's video today after I film this, because I've tried to consolidate a little bit more, only film on specific days to maintain sanity. I did not touch a camera or a vehicle on yesterday at all. I moved rock and I dug dirt. That's what I did. That's what I did all day. And it was vainglorious because it was a warm day. There's that container of beautiful, beautiful tan concrete, which is all embossed on one side. There's like fish and flowers and roses and all sorts of stuff on it. So it will be fun and interesting to see what the future brings when I'm emptying that container. And I would have gotten more done, but the battery on my mower is dead, and I was in it. I was filthy, and I was digging, and I was lifting, and I didn't feel like driving to the Lowe's and spending $60 on a battery. So I will probably do that. Like, if it rains, I will definitely be driving to the Lowe's and buying a battery, because what else am I going to be doing? So I think we had a productive week. There were ups and downs, and I guess that's the best way to do it. In the upcoming is sort of in the air, because what the content that is generated, and I hate saying content, what videos get made are determined almost exclusively by what the weather looks like. If it's clear out, we film tuning and running. If the weather is miserable, we do builds. And the builds have turned into a backlog. Yes, there is the VRD bug that needs paint. It is, I think, right there, that's its fender right over there. Still unpainted because it was 70 degrees for like this long. As soon as the sun starts to dip, the temperature goes, because it is still winter. The Bronco needs paint and assembly. The one that's on the FRD. The CJ7 needs work. You can see right here. I ordered a set of Deeps, Injora Deeps, that are identical to the 105s that are on it right now. I think it'll help. Also on the way from Amazon are parts. We are going to get the test of Injora Reds, because I think, as people had pointed out, the rear inserts are both crushing and sliding. I think I have a way to stop the sliding. And I think the reds are certainly going to at least mitigate the crushing. I really want to stick to those Toyos because I love the look of them. And we will get an installment of that, hopefully, in the upcoming week. We have multiple It Came From the Workbench ready. Like, I have all of the stuff, I'm pretty sure. The Trucks of Fortune build should be getting underway, and there is a pile of parts to go with it. And the Trucks of Fortune build will be disassembled, and you will get to see how laughably little we use of what came in Trucks of Fortune for the build of that vehicle. And that vehicle is not going to be inexpensive when it comes to the end of it. My buddy is a gentleman who throws money at things. He's not the premier. He kind of shares my. We don't buy the cheapest. He doesn't buy the most expensive. He kind of gets here in the middle, and then it allows him to buy more. But he gets obsessed with like colorways. So that brushed silver of Vanquish, you're going to see a lot of that brushed silver on that build. And as that build comes apart, all of the bits and pieces that aren't being used from the Trucks of Fortune Falcon, except for that body, which I still haven't gotten rid of, will be going on to the Raptor build for my wife's coworker. And the right here are the wheels and tires, the decided wheels and tires, Baja Bosses on these beautiful trials, which I think are the most Raptor-y looking wheels we could find. And all of this was brought about by, like, these came on the CJ, and the CJ is a build for a Canyon member. These came off of a set of wheels that were the Toyos, which were donated by a Canyon member. The parts that I'm pointing to it because it's right, Visitor Garage is on the other side of this wall. That build, the parts that come off of that. So I have already named beautifully the Raptor has already been named. I've been calling it Voltron because it is going to form like Voltron. So many parts from so many things, from so many builds are coming off and going on to Voltron. It is forming, the 5 Lions are forming like Voltron, or the 20 vehicles, whatever Voltron you prescribe to. And Voltron is going to give us the ability to incorporate a couple of junk/quick views. We don't know what they are yet. Things that I am constantly in need of and I'm constantly searching for are things like links, rod ends, shocks, gearbox parts, stuff like that, right? The core elements of what we need to build a crawler. And rod ends, for whatever reason, are not cheap. I favor element rod ends and TRX4 rod ends in different applications because in some, TRX4 rod ends just don't fit. So, our good buddies Mias, I found this incidentally while browsing Amazon, Mias are selling giant sacks, 100 rod ends. They have a Selection A and a Selection B. Selection B are Traxxas. Selection A these are clearly clones of Axial. They have bent and straight, and then these look identical to what come on the end of, I realized the glare there was pretty glaring. And we can open these up. So we're talking about, I think it was $39, and someone would say, $39 on rod ends? What's wrong with you? Okay, when you order a set of, not in there, yeah. Nope, not those. When you order a set of the elements, okay, you get these curved long ones. You get 2 of this length that are straight, and you get 4 of the 3mm ones that go on the bottoms of shocks. I think you get 16 of these. So 16 of these, 2 of the straights, and then 4 of the longs. So 22 rod ends total, and it's like $16. So $39 for 100 ends is wildly inexpensive, and provided that they're just not, they feel, and also, those definitely don't come with hollow balls, and these all come with balls. So you're getting 100 rod ends and 100 balls. The only question is the quality. And these look fine. So I'm all in for that. All of the ones that come on knockoff link sets that you get on Amazon, this section down here is overly thin, and this section on this one does not seem overly thick. They do feel like a better nylon. I'm not going to be able to make an accurate judgment on the quality of those until you install the first one on a rod. These look like these are just axial. These just look like axial, only the plastic is black instead of gray. We've got a ball. They are, 7mm. They're pretty much all 7mm. So we have a lot of fixtures that need 7.5s. So I go through 7.5s like crazy. And I have a giant drawer full of 7s. And I'll never have to buy 7mm hollow balls again. I know I shouldn't say never, but most likely never, as there's 100 of them in here. I didn't bag that one, apparently. And we're starting to get a surplus in the Mia sticker sheets because I haven't found a Mias that I haven't liked yet. And in collaboration with the Mias, I think this one's going to be a junk view just based on this. Amazon comes through again. AR-44s from AMK Toy. I love the gears from AMK Toy. AMK Toy has gear sets, underdrive and overdrive gear sets for both TRX-4 and AR-44 / Vanquish / whatever uses a regular 830 or 833, 824, 827, any of those. And they are cheap. We're talking like $20 for the pair instead of, $40 for one. So they offered an AR-44 pair, which are definitely Vanquish clones. I intend at some point to take there's no grease in here. I intend to take the gear cover off. I want to see how close they actually are. Can I fit an AR-44, an axial gear cover on there? They do come with wheel hexes. The nylon does not seem like the beefiest of nylons, and they have given us there's 4 rod ends in here for the tie rod and the drag link, and they are very, very economical. But this is a $60 axle pair from Amazon. So, and there are aluminum hexes, non-clamping, no set screw. But what do you want for next to nothing? We are going to test these out. These are, as of this speakering. Oh, I was wondering what amp rate you had to charge at to get the fan and the IMARS to turn on. I'm charging a 3600 and a 1300 at the same time, and when they both hit about 60% charge, the fan turned on. So these will be the axles moving forward on Voltron, because we don't need to build the most robust thing on the planet. I intend to stick with CMS because it's basically going to have a full VS410 chassis under it. So VS410 on straights, but with that Amazon 2-speed. So I think I have everything compiled for that. We have got let's just plunk it on the bench. If you've been to the canyon before, and I mean that virtually or physically, you know that we don't do minis. We don't do minis and micros, but I've said we'll allow it. It's got a 10-inch wheelbase. I have 2 vehicles with 10-inch wheelbases, so axial, in true Horizon fashion, there's no way this is 18th scale, much as none of the 10th scales are 10th scale. This 18th scale is probably much closer to I did say 18th, right? This 18th is much closer to 10th than a lot of the actual 10ths are. So this is a viewer / supporter build. So you've got UTB 18. You've got the Spare Time Hobbies V1B bugger, and that is just the chassis. Here are all of the bits, because it actually turns it into a bug. Right down under the bench is the Sand Scorcher shell, 393 tusks, Capra portal weights, Holmes revolver, Dravtech shorts for UTB 18, including the offsets in there. Overdrive gears for the portal, NSDRC RS400, some beautiful Trial 1.9, what are those, 12 hole? 10 hole. And a mini, double mini, there'll be a quick view involved there, Crawlmaster Mini V3 to go with the Holmes revolver. And I think, oh, it's also a link riser and a hardware pack. I don't think we're missing anything there from building a V1B bugger. I think we have it all. So, and these come fully unassembled, so I get to use my tool. I've got my my split ring tool that I never get to use because everybody keeps ordering shocks, including myself, and they just come assembled. Like, I don't pay for the assembly, and they just come assembled. So we are indeed doing a not really, like, you'll get to see me take this apart, and I think before we take it apart, I think I owe it to myself and all of us to just drive it, as is, just to see what it's like. How does the other half live? And then we're going all in. V1B UTB 18 build, that is in the queue, along with the Trucks of Fortune build, Voltron, finishing the VRD, finishing the FRD, and in terms of finishing, look at this. I can segue like a little scooter that keeps itself level. We've got right here the choice of the wheel of the day. And the wheel of the day is not bittersweet. The wheel of the day is the gentleman, is the Flonco, who has been wheeled a select few times. He's still got mud on his roof from when he ran Mavericks. And I genuinely, well and truly want to send this off to Europe with the mud on it because we got to import some canyon dirt on it. The holdup for me was on shipping him out was the tires. We hadn't landed on a tire. He was on ripsaws, and I wasn't really happy with it. And I knew I wanted something in the 4.5, 4.65 area. And I talked to Erwin, and he was like, I've never tried canyon trails. Apparently, they're not a thing that you can get over there with regularity. So I was like, oh, those I've got. These are all from different sets, as you can tell by the coloration. These still have foams and beadlock rings in them. So, unmounted 5 sets of canyon trails. So I did the full cut and sipe on these. These are brand new, never touched the ground. He's doing the 3D printing thing over there, so he can easily 3D print his own inserts, and that was a very freeing operation. It basically concluded it because right over here, I'm gesturing over to right next to where the charger is, there's a box with all of the extra bits that we will shove in the box to go over to Europe with him. But this will not be shipping out before January the 23rd. The 23rd or the 24th will be the ship date for this to head out to there. Hopefully we'll get some pictures. Hopefully, Erwin has a YouTube. You should check it out. He doesn't talk much. You should talk, well, I mean, I say that as a person who talks much, but he doesn't talk much, but he gets some pretty good footage on his little rock setup that he's got over there, and I'm assuming Brecht, he's over there. Maybe we'll get to see this guy featured on the internet after it leaves here. It will be featured here on the internet for the final time. It is, of course, going included with a GT5 comes with it. And when I took it off the hook, you know the batteries in this were stone dead. I got to remember to keep the batteries out of GT5s. So it's got a fresh set of batteries. These are just Element single-stage white foams. But this will certainly be the last time that the Flonco gets wheeled here. Mostly because I just kind of want to see it drive around on canyon trails. And I will be sugared if they don't look pretty great. Like we got pretty good fitment. The angry Lexan noises should be to a minimum. Oh, and Coming up this week, certainly, hopefully over the weekend, depending on how the filming schedule for the day goes, we are going to get an installment in Project Zoidberg, who predates It Came from the Workbench, as he is one of the Canyon's first builds, one of the first vehicles. I think he was the third kit that I ever ordered. It went, maybe he was third or fourth, because the OG4 are Jolly Green, who was a TRX4 at the time, Yella, Daphne, and Zoidberg. The only one I'm absolutely certain of was first was Jolly Green, because he was the first crawler that I ever bought. So he is one of the original four, and he has not had an installment in his series since the 24th of April, 2022. No, I said it prior, and someone responded back in the comments, when is a build ever really done? And I don't think they ever really are, because Zoidberg is somewhat changed. He's a little bit changed. We're going to get an installment of that imminently. So, we do what we do, which was we head on to the outdoors. I don't have this switch in a good location. And we're going to wheel this bro around. He has a 4S pack in him today, despite having a 2250 kV motor, and I had been running him exclusively on 3S before, and I kind of think that I accidentally built a 4S rig, Stealth X, with TRX4 axles, so final reduction has to be 70-1 at least, probably more around 80-1, so 4S on a 2250 is actually pretty tame. By comparison. So, let's head on outside to where the rocks live. We will mush and mash a little bit, and then I will send you on your way. If someone were to ask me, how do you know a storm's a coming? Well, a couple things. Not 72 hours ago, I was sitting in this exact spot, filming a very similar thing to this, and it was about 34 degrees. Right now, it's about 55 degrees at the same time of day. I woke up in a sweat at like 3:30 in the morning last night because the day before was freezing, and last night was not. Is it going to rain? I still can't say. The broken bone in my hand, and anyone out there who has a broken bone in their body, they can tell you, that thing, that's not an old wives' tale. I get a pinch, like somebody's pinching the inside of my hand when the rain is a-coming. And I haven't gotten the pinch, so I don't know yet. Maximum forward drive comes from compliance and suppleness. And single stage open cell is where that comes from. So side hill ability, also angry Lexan noise is effectively non-existent today, and man does he look good on canyon trails. Oh, right through there, no problem. Oh yeah. Obviously, when I say who would have thunk it, clearly not I, because I didn't. It had never occurred to me prior to now to just, in my own parlance, slap some canyon trails on it. Which is what I did. He is, of course, on the fully drooped Desert Lizards. Everyone should... thank you for reminding me. I do need to throw in some Desert Lizard, one of the hardware packs in there, so that he's got a wrench and extra seals and that sort of stuff. Further to the right you go, the better. We can cut back. Yeah, these canyon trails are fresh. I don't think they've touched the ground prior to now. So a feathered in canyon trail is a super capable canyon trail. Going the one-hand shuttle here. Little nose push there. Little side slide. Honestly, his side hill might not be that bad. Yeah. Super stable. The Flonco, and I know I've mentioned in the past that other vehicles drive light. In the best intended way, I would say the Flonco drives heavy. Like he always feels solid. And that has to be the underslung desert lizards. He never feels like, like I say, high side light. He doesn't feel high side light. He feels planted. And I'm guessing that I lucked into some sort of correct. Look at that tire in the front fender. Was he born for canyon trails? He would not be mad about G2 Knuckles though, just because of the increased steering. I'm noticing we could have more steering. He could also probably benefit from a little bit more underdrive. I think he's only on 12%. I think. Let me look at the wheels here. Yeah, it doesn't look like 20. I'll tell you what a small victory looks like. It looks like this. You pick up your cameras to move to your next position, and when you set the camera down and then walk over to set the other camera down, you walk back to cam 1, and it's in the exact, like, I didn't reposition this. I set the tripod down, and this was the framing. And it's those little things that you make you go, yeah, that's all right. The wheels look great, the tires look great, the body looks great. Now I'm getting all misty. I'm gonna miss them. Like, there's no Lexan noises. We got a little bit of bonk coming down there. He has sliders that don't fill me with irrational anger. The sliders really suit this body. The tires suit this body. I had to have the bumper stick out farther back from the back of the body than I would have liked in order to incorporate the body mount and still get clips into it. And it doesn't bother me at all. I think it's fine. I think the body sits really well. I think he is still maximum Flonco because he is way too long and way too low. But I don't know. It's growing on me. Yeah. He's going on to his forever home, and we will think instead only about happy times, the times we spent together. He also acts like he has a much longer wheelbase than he does. Like the point you have to get to before he feels like he's going to flop back, you can get the nose so high. Like right there, there was zero lift. And when I talk about steering angle and how I wish I had a bit more, that's TRX4 axle stuff. They don't have the sharpest steering angle because they use big husky CVDs up in the front. Overbuilt. Yeah, the canyon trail. I love a canyon trail, man. And the more I thought about it, as I was outfitting it, I was like, how do we send a canyon build out of here without canyon trails on it? And they are perfect. They are perfect. And I'm not even saying that just because I'm willing to make sacrifices for vanity. They fit the fender wells perfectly. They look great. But we're also getting the grip. A little stuck in there. We'll just do some little sidles down. That's the closest I've come to rolling this thing out, and it wasn't even close to rolling it out. I don't even know if I would do more underdrive, honestly. That first thought is always, more is better. I mean, until it isn't. want to see if I can get this belly up. Yeah, get that belly over without a bump. So what I've done, as is my want, I suppose, is I've rambled on too long inside. Whoop. Yeah, see, again, this does not feel, it's weird. It's so weird. I was going to finish here. We were going to wrap up over here at, jeez, Oblivion. But I feel like I have to see it side hill. Because I feel like I could drive it the rest of the day and not roll it over once. He also has the beautiful ability to get angry, get noisy, slow creep quiet. But when you give it a proper serving of beans, that body is like a speaker box, and you get a real out of him. And electronic anchor. Oh yeah. I have no complaints. I certainly don't complain. Just moving on. For those who don't remember, Irwin hit the number in the when I built Ratchet, and he had told me prior to that he was like, "I'm not taking it." He goes, "No one will appreciate it." And I said, "You're getting a rig." So all these, that was what was that September? What was it? It's 4 months. 4 months later, this one's going to almost 5. This one's heading out. And when I went into building the Flonco, I was like, it's going to be like a trail rig that can crawl, because that's what we do. We turn trail rigs into crawlers quite often a lot, and not the other way around. So this then immediately kind of turned into the other way around, where we were building a rock crawler that is still capable of going on the trail. I've been told that you can fully immerse an outrunner and it will just be fine, but I've never done it myself. We do get out here when it gets wet, but I don't know, I've never been able to get myself to underwater an outrunner. Though I've underwatered plenty of brush motors and they handle it just fine. Oh, I was going to say that through there was amazing, and then I got rock slidered. Rock slidered. It's amazing how you can be fully entrenched one direction, and then as soon as you change direction, it's like, oh, we're fancy free. So we'll go more right hand. Try to get that rock slider inside right there. Yeah. Okay. You want to try that? Okay. Whatever you want, man. That doesn't seem like a thing that should be possible. How have I not, like... That was a catch. That might be catch of the day. I want to stay in it. No! We had to roll it, right? We can't go through this whole thing and not roll it. After picking up CJ Joe by his axial stinger so many times, the U-Tron, these are U-Tron bumpers on here. The U-Tron front bumper feels like it's made out of granite. It gives not a millimeter when you pick the rig up by it. And Flonco's not light. In that 7.5 pound TRX4 axles will do that to you. Yeah, there's no lightness. He does not feel light. We're getting some squidge. Now, if we can combine a little slip with that squidge. So right now, 85% of the rig's weight is focused on the driver rear tire. Now, can we stay in it and move over, or is it going to collapse? And yes, we are moving. I am under throttle. Little lift there. We turn down. We should be able to force it back. Okay, now we're probably past 85%. Ooh, it's right there. And at that degree of side hill, we are asking a lot of an OE element foam. Yeah, I think that maybe. No. Oh, it's so mushy. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is an impressive side hill, at the very least to me, because I know what's inside the tire. It is not optimized. It was a placeholder for shipping, to keep the tires in shape, basically, because it's definitely going to get some 3D printed in it once it makes its way to the old country, to the other continent. I wouldn't be mad, though. That's way too high. Whoo! So we'll just take this opportunity to wide it out and wrap it up. The Flonco sits, well, we'll get closer to the edge where it's scary, sits at the edge of a hole. That hole is going to be a pond. And the pond is going to have a waterfall that falls into it. The size and scope and orientation of that waterfall is yet to be determined. That is the plan for that. If you want to get a better visualization of the size of the hole, then turn your attention to that pile of dirt. Flonco for scale. There is the size of the pile of dirt. I have a 2-wheel wheelbarrow, which is great because it almost kind of self-dumps. And I filled that wheelbarrow 7 times. I want to say 7 times emptying that hole. It holds 7 cubic feet per, so that's about 50 cubic feet of dirt. It's a lot. It weighs a lot. There's regular concrete in the front. You can get a glimpse of the beautiful tan stuff in the back. As I said, dead battery. So that wheelbarrow that is barely functioning as a wheelbarrow was the method of conveyance for all of that until my arms were like, no mas. and I acquiesced. So, thank you for being here on a, I never know how long they are until the edit's done, into a somewhat longer, I feel, installment of the weekly update, where we bid the fondest of farewells to the Flonco. It's not a sad day, it's a happy day. And for those, there's a semi-vocal semi-minority who say 4S is too much. And all we do is 3S and 4S. This rig has an 850 4S in it right now. Ordinarily, I would have a 2200 3S in it. And, you know, for low speed, it doesn't really matter. But this is wide open. So, this is definitely, we put a ton of gear reduction. We have a ton of mechanical advantage. And then we just volt up. And he's great. And a Rhino has no problem with 4S. 4S 2200 is ordinarily, you'd be like, yeah, you do the little, I don't know, are you sure? But there's so much gear reduction that the amount of load that actually makes it to the motor, we're not talking about drawing a huge amount of amps. We're just happy to be here. You know what the Flonco and I are also happy about? We're happy that all of y'all are here. We're happy that you stopped by the canyon and spent part of your day with us. And we look forward to seeing you again. And in betwixt now and when that might be at whatever point in the future, we certainly hope that you will, one and all, do your very best to have a good one, everybody. Yeah, I think I've run out of things to say. For the moment, I am done. We are done. We thank you again for the very last time today. We'll see you in the next one. Flonco, drive him out.